American black women are facing a crisis. Stereotyped, generalized, fetishized, single, impoverished, obese, and heavily studied. How can black women at large break away from society's negative perceptions and even our own damaging behaviors to move into God's perfect design? This ministry seeks to empower black women to achieve God's goals for their lives by becoming elegant, healthy, loving, honorable women of standard. And lastly, an elite marriageable class of women no man looking for a wife can turn down. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Now let's get started. How are you? This channel exists to help black women prioritize faith, wifehood, and proper imaging. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification so you don't miss a thing. Also, follow my mailing list. The link is below to get on it. You will be updated with everything that we have going on. You'll be updated with new videos, all of that stuff. Go ahead and follow the mailing list. The free wife mindset guide is available. You need to have the mindset of a wife to really, truly embody what a wife is. A wife is not just a woman married under the law, but she is a mindset. Click the link below to get it. It's a quick read and it is free. Also, Marriages for Black Women too. My ebook is out now and it talks about why black women are not getting married. How we went from the most married women in America to the least married women in America, and why this hurts us and why we need to think about how important marriage is again and what to do to get married again as black women. Link for that also is below, so don't forget to get your copy. It'd be a great present for someone that you truly care about for Christmas. And it's a quick read. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for just who you are, what you've done, and what you will do. I pray, God, again, that you would give people ears to hear and send the right people who need to hear this message so they can be able to hear. I pray against offense. I pray against condemnation. And I pray against guilt. And I ask that you will open people's hearts and minds to receive what your spirit is saying through me. Speak through me, an imperfect vessel. Use me in this moment. In Jesus' name, amen. So I want to go ahead and talk about this trend, and I've got my Dunkin' Donut. It's like I have my cue card, guys. Some of the things I want to say is on this cue card. Listen, you got to use what you got. You got to use what's around, okay? But I want to talk about this trend of married women mostly, and they're going to their husbands and they're filming their husband's raw reaction, and they're saying, I can't help you with the mortgage this time.
I won't be able to pay the mortgage this month.
You don't pay the mortgage any month.
You have to say it like that. Well, I'm just mean this month for Christmas, because, you know, with tuition and all that stuff.
Well, keep doing your part. I'll do the mortgage. You bend over.
So I need to tell you something.
Huh?
So I need to tell you something.
You need to tell me something? What you gotta tell me? Well, why you got the camera on?
What?
You better not say you pregnant.
Come here. Why are you sitting down? I can't pay the mortgage this month.
You can't pay our mortgage this month.
Right.
You ain't gonna get me.
What?
You don't know nothing about the mortgage.
I can't pay it. I can't pay it.
You can't pay it? Why you can't pay it? Why would you pay it? You ain't paying the mortgage. I mean, you are, but...
Am I?
Yeah.
Why I pay it?
Huh?
I pay the mortgage?
Through me.
Oh, okay. All right. Electric bill, I gotta pay it? I can't pay that either.
You ain't got no electric bill.
Okay, babe. You're not fun. Babe.
What's up?
Stop playing the game for a second. I need to tell you something.
Okay.
I don't want you to get mad.
What's up?
When I tell you this, please promise me you won't get mad.
What's up?
I don't have enough for rent this month.
Babe.
I know.
Babe.
I spent it all, and I don't even think I'm gonna have rent for next month
Babe.
too. So
Babe,
I'm just letting you know now. So
babe,
yes.
when have you ever paid rent? Ever?
Yeah, don't do me like that.
Ever.
Don't do me like.
Ever. Where do you go to pay rent? Where do you even go? Who do we go pay rent to? You don't even know. Stop messing with me. I'm trying to play the game, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
Now, it's supposed to be a funny trend, and I love it because it's so funny to see the reaction on the husband's face, especially the husbands that pay 100% of the mortgage. And they're just telling their wives, you don't pay the mortgage anyway. Some are saying you don't even know how to get to the mortgage. You don't even know what we pay. You don't even know anything about the mortgage. And I just love it because I've seen a lot of Black married couples, and it just fills my heart with so much joy. I pray that God will give you the mindset that you need to ready and prepare yourself for a provider man, because they are different than other men. And if that is what you desire, I believe God will give you the desires of your heart as you delight in him. So why I want to talk about this trend, first, I just love it. It's great. And like I said, I love to see those women who are being taken care of, especially Black married couples. I love to see that because we need more of that shown in our community. Not the sexy reds, but the full-time married housewife or the full-time married couple where the wife is being taken care of and she doesn't have to worry about these bills. However, there's also a 50-50 couple trend. There's the 50-50 couples. There's the wives or girlfriends going up to their husbands and they're saying, hey, I don't have money for the mortgage. What are we going to do? And it's really interesting to see the response of panic on some of those men's faces.
Hey, babe. Babe.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry. Listen, I know we both have to go to work here in a minute, but I just needed to tell you that with everything and how busy it's all been, that we're not going to be able to, I'm not going to be able to pay the rent this month.
Well,
Like, it's just Black Friday, all the holiday shopping, Christmas, like, I don't know what to do.
Babe, I love you, but I don't even know who we pay our rent to.
Oh, yeah,
Can
I
you
don't
get
know.
like an extension or I don't really know, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can call them and see. But, like, what do we do if, like, we can't pay the rent?
I don't know.
Like, they have a grace period. We're still okay, but...
I don't know.
Like, I think we get a late fee, do you know? Yeah, so I know we get, like, a late fee if it's paid after, I think, like, the 5th or the 6th. But, yeah, I can't pay it.
So, like kick us out or like
I think.
I can pack the stuff.
Oh my gosh. We've never been kicked out of anywhere.
So do I need to like I don't know.
No, I'm just kidding. It's a TikTok trend. You can get ready for work now.
Oh, God.
It's just so funny how, you know, feminism, to me, this is where feminism is so hypocritical. And this is why we have to stop women, specifically Black women, listening to these feminists, okay? I've already said this many times in videos past. Studies show that the most progressive liberal women are attracted to traditional conservative masculine men, right? All of this toxic masculinity and trying to make traditional masculinity seem like it's a setback for women. Traditional gender roles is a setback for women. It's not what women want. It's not what we should aspire to. Make your own money. Don't depend on a man. Be independent. All of that stuff goes out the window because in reality and research shows that God's way is the best way. Okay, this is why I keep saying God's way is the best way. The way he created men and women and our specific roles and the biology, the science, science all behind how he created us will always come out in the end. So all of the girl boss feminist foolishness goes away when women actually take their God honoring rightful place in society. And this trend shows it, because there are so many women in the comments of these women who are with 100% provider men, whose men are paying all of the bills and paying all of the mortgage. They are applauding these men. They're saying, I want a man like that. Where are these provider men at? Where can I find a man like that? I love that I want a man that pays all my bills. This is the best man. And then if you look at a majority of the women who are commenting on the couples who are 50-50, who split the rent or bills or mortgage 50-50, I mean, it's so negative. A lot of those women are telling the women in those videos to leave their husbands, to leave their boyfriends, that these men are not real men. You know, like, these men are not leaders. These men are not masculine. Why would you waste time with a man like that? Like, he should pay everything.
All right, y'all gonna have to wrap this rent trend up. The 50-50 couples got in on it, and it's a little disheartening. Respectfully, if your man isn't the one who pays the rent, like not even the one who pays it all, if he's not the one who goes and makes the payment, if you're the one, if he doesn't even know how to pay if he doesn't even know who to pay the rent to, don't do the trend. Don't do it. We don't want to see that. We on behalf of TikTok, on behalf of everybody on TikTok, we don't want. Leave it to the provider man, okay? I was giggling, laughing with my feet up, rubbing my feet together, looking until y'all started showing up on my For You page. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Keep it in the drafts. You can still participate. Keep it in the drafts. Post on your close friends only, something. But listen, me, I don't want it on my For You page. Not mine.
And this trend goes to show the hypocrisy in the feminist mindset. So many women are being brought up to believe in boss chick, independent feminist culture, all of that radical stuff that goes against our biology. But yet when they're presented with these types of videos, you're seeing that most of these women, who I'm pretty sure would say that they have some feminist tendencies, or that they are feminist or agree with feminism, they are applauding the women that don't pay any mortgage, that pay no bills. And so it's the hypocrisy. Feminist movement is double-minded. And a lot of these feminists it's kind of like they only want feminism when it suits them. But it's not like they really want equality all across the board. They may want equality in the workplace, but not at home. They may want equality here, but not everywhere. And a movement is not going to work. It's going to continue to unravel when there's double-mindedness. As the Bible says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And that's why the feminist movement has been unstable since the beginning, but a lot of it is falling apart, right? Like, if you even look at young women in this election cycle, a lot of young women, about 40%, voted for the new president-elect. And a lot of that has to do with the economy and all of this stuff. But I do believe that women in general are attracted biologically to masculine presenting men. Okay, men who seem like alphas, or men who seem masculine, who seem strong. And say what you want about the president-elect, but a lot of women think he is strong. And they see him as a strong man. And that is always that's what it is. I've also pointed out a survey or a study that, again, slaps feminism in the face, because this study says that most women do not like working for female bosses. They prefer male bosses because they believe that female bosses are too much drama. So again, feminism is smacked in the face by its own people, by the people that they're supposed to represent, which is women. I just want to caution you, ladies, specifically Black women, if you want to look at how feminism destroyed the Black community, this is a long podcast about that. I did a video about it. Go ahead and look at it. But a lot of this feminism is just ridiculous because this whole feminist culture falls when women are around masculine traditional men. They say it's toxic. They say they don't like gender roles. They got mad at that one quarterback who basically was the keynote speaker at this very Catholic, very conservative and traditional college. But he was telling the women there that the best thing that they will do is not being a boss chick, but being like his wife, which is being a mother and being a homemaker and all that stuff. And a lot of women online were mad. Why would you say that? This is the 21st century. Women want equality. Women are on the same level as men. How can a man tell a woman what she wants? All this stuff, right? They got upset at that football player. But now those same women, many of them are saying how amazing it is that the women in this I can't pay the mortgage challenge are being taken care of by provider men, and they want to know where these men are. So it's like they're struggling against biology and what culture and feminism is telling them to believe. I also want to kind of answer the question for a lot of these women who are saying, where are these men? Where are the provider men? Where can we find them? And I made another video. Y'all just go through my channel and look at anything that stands out to you, because I've talked about a lot of these different topics and I don't want to sound like a broken record, especially for people who've seen my channel before. But I know a lot of times when I put out videos, new people come, so welcome. But, I made a video about how important character is. There are a lot of people who are so focused on riches and resources in men because social media, the dark femininity movement and everything else is manipulating you, is trying to teach you to use witchcraft to manipulate a man and get him to provide resources for you. But yet his character is messed up. And then you have situations where you have men who you marry or you're with that are absolute monsters, but yet they provide for you financially. And you're like, what? I didn't know this person was like that. And so I keep saying it's important to understand character. Provider men are all around you. Contrary to popular belief, I believe that unfortunately, a lot of women have high expectations that are unrealistic. I'm not saying you shouldn't have high expectations, but I'm talking about unrealistic expectations. You want perfection. You want a man that's 6 foot, has abs, who's the perfect in this way and that way. Like he can provide for you. He makes 6 figures or more. All of this stuff because you're watching too many dramas where the poor girl marries the CEO, or you love these romance films and movies or dramas where it's like the common girl gets wrapped up in a situation with a rich man. Kind of like even the oh my goodness, Christian Grey movies or whatever. I forget what it was called. But so many women went and watched those movies because biologically women are attracted to a lot of movies like that because they are attracted to men who provide. So that is just biology. That is gender roles, and feminism and all that stuff is not going to stop that from happening. Again, so many studies show that, and this whole trend is showing that now. But where those movies are wrong is you're looking for men who are the prototype of those main characters. Well, they have to be rich. They have to do this. They have to look like this. They have to look like that. And social media and your favorite celebrities and all these, baby mamas and people who don't have successful, healthy relationships, but are just popping out babies in their relationships with men who provide financially, but they have no character. These women are trying to teach you and the next generation of women that is more important. Resources is more important. But let me tell you what a real provider man is. A provider man is a man who has character. When you put character before resources, before anything else, I can guarantee that you will have a provider man. Because when you have a man of integrity, he is going to make sure that the bills are paid. He is going to make sure that your concerns are listened to and met. He is going to make sure to work his tail off to make sure that all is right. And let me tell you, he may not be able to provide you with a mansion. He may not be able to provide you with a yacht. He may not be 6 foot and have washboard abs, but he is a man of character and integrity. He is a man that goes to work, works hard, considers you, considers your children, and will make sure you are taken care of. Now, I'm not saying that resources aren't important, but what I'm saying is it's not resources over character, it's character over resources. Because when you find a man of character, most likely they're going to be resourceful. They're going to be a provider. Those men do not waste their money because they're integral. They have a vision. They have a plan. They want a family. They want to do things with their life. So they may not have washboard abs They may just have a dad bod, which actually scientifically, more women, specifically women who want committed relationships, are actually attracted to men with dad bods and not the whole six-pack stuff anyways. But they're going to be integral. And so they're not going to be wasteful. See, when you start to look at the character, and that's how you vet these men, when you look at the character of a man, you will be shocked how everything else aligns. Right? It's like following God. We are to follow the character of God, to know the character of God, to know the character of Jesus. And that's what he does. That's what sanctification is. He chips away the things in our character that isn't right so that we have a character more like Jesus, right? And so that's why that's important. I'm not saying that you need a man that is broke. No. I have to keep saying this. Well, I don't want a broke man. No, it's not about that. It's about the character. Is he paying his bills on time? If he has good character, if he's integral, he's paying his bills on time. He's making sure that he's going to work. He has a stable job. Now, he may fall on hard times, but you know his character, that you trust him. This is okay. We love to uplift Denzel and Pauletta Washington, a great Black couple that is still together all these years. Their 4 children are grown and are also working in the business as well. I saw a clip where Pauletta was saying how she paid for a cab or a taxi or their first date or something like that.
Remember our first date together?
I remember
because what happened?
I paid for the ride.
I know you was going to say that. You didn't pay for the date though.
I didn't.
What happened?
Well, because no.
Go ahead.
We went to a party. There was nothing to pay for after we got there.
So we took a cab, and I'm paying for the cab ride, but then I'm watching the meter, and I'm running out of money. And
he turns to me and says, "I have no money."
I didn't say that.
You turned to me. Oh, I can remember. I see where I am. I was right behind the driver.
Okay, and what happened?
I paid for it.
You paid the whole thing?
Yes. And it was back in the days where the cab drivers had the libbies.
She paid for it and she helped him out. And I've heard many relationships where the woman kind of helped out her husband before he became who he was, and he ended up taking care of her. Right? And so why was she able to do that? I'm pretty sure their first date wasn't the first time they saw each other, met each other. I don't know if they were friends before. I'm pretty sure she knew a little bit about him before they went on that date. And she was probably able to see his character and saying, like, this guy is going somewhere. He's not just talking, but I see how he's living his life. He may not be where he needs to be now, but he definitely is going to get there. I can see how he's working hard. I can see how he's keeping his promises. I can see how he's consistent. I can see how he's generous. Those are different ways you can know if a man's character is right. If he's generous, you know he'll be generous to you and your family. If he is a promise keeper, you know that, and consistent, you know that that's great. Your kids need a consistent father. You need a consistent husband. These are the things, if he's patient, if he's kind, these are the things that let you know he's going somewhere. You say he says something and he actually does it. He says something and he actually does it. Come on, that is a great character. He says he's going to do something and he does it. That lets you know, okay, this man is serious about his life. So if he says that I'm going to marry you, he's going to do it because you have seen him enough and known him enough to know that when he says something, he actually does it. He gets it done. Now, I'm not talking about if he says something bad, but I'm saying something good, right? So this is why we have to consider character, because guess what? Pauletta Washington is very taken care of now. She's doing well. And I'm not saying that everybody's going to be a Pauletta Washington, but what I'm saying is she was smart enough to look at his character more than the resources of what he could offer her. I've seen a video on YouTube where this woman was basically saying how she dated ball players and all these men, and she was a successful nurse. And when she met her husband, he was younger than her, still in college. He was living with his parents. He was in debt. He wasn't really where all the other men were that she was into. However, she gave him a chance, and I believe it's because she saw his character. She saw that there's something, people say don't date potential, but that's foolishness because we all have potential. We have to live how God wants us to live, and God sees the potential in us. He has a plan for our lives, and he knows what we have potential to get there, and that's why he's given us that grace and salvation to be one with him again, to be reconciled to the Father so we can live out that potential, right? And so if that's how God sees us, we should do that the same in others. I'm not saying do that with men who are breaking their promises, who are not committed or consistent. I'm saying when you see a man that has good character, you may want to stick in there for a while. You will be heartbroken if you let a guy go. And I've seen so many people say this, oh, I was with a guy and he wasn't really doing much, but now he's doing great and he's married and all this stuff and I'm still single. We have to stop looking through the lens of romance dramas and we have to start looking through the lens of God. A godly man who puts others before him. He is a servant. He puts others before him and he's integral. Look for a man like Jesus. Okay, I'm not talking about a man that's walking on water and stuff like that, but I'm talking about a man with a Jesus character. Someone that is not harsh with you, but will tell you the truth. Someone that is willing to listen. Someone that is committed and loves you for real in commitment. He's choosing every day to do that, right? Someone that is gentle, but also a lion, the lion and the lamb. A lion is more ferocious. The lamb is more gentle. So it's not that hard if we're just in our Bibles and we study the character of Jesus to know, okay, this guy, yeah, he's got that character. He's working on himself. He's doing his best. He's coming through. So these are all the ways, and I've gone over that in another video of the type of things you should look for when it comes to a man's character. But what I'm saying ultimately is, when you look for character and you put that first, a man is going to be a provider because he's going to pay attention to what you need. He's going to make sure his family is taken care of. I think another issue is that, look at, for example, Pop the Balloon, that show. We see so many men and women who have character deficiencies in themselves because they are popping the balloon because of something a guy is wearing. A guy is wearing, he looked pretty decent, but you don't like the color of his pants, or you don't like the way he's talking, or you don't like, it's just dumb stuff. And I'm just like, guys, as women, yes, you should want a man that looks good, but does the color of his shirt really matter? There was one woman, all the girls on the show popped the balloon, but there was this one woman left, and she basically was saying like, listen, I don't really care about his outfit because other people commented on his outfit and that's why they popped it. She was like, you can always change your clothes. That doesn't matter to me. You know, I just think he seems like a nice, cool guy, whatever, right? But we have to grow up. Black women, we have to grow up. We have to stop expecting perfection because God doesn't expect perfection from us. He perfects us. It's a process. It's a journey. So let's calm down. And we have to see beyond these things, especially if you have children, especially if you don't want to be a single mother out here in the cold, like wishing that you did things over. It's so important to vet. It's so important to vet a person's character. And does it matter if he's wearing brown pants or leather pants if that's not your style?
A survey where men and women were asked if they got 80% of everything they want in their ideal mate, would they be happy with that? And women said, no, that's settling. And men said, 80%, I'd be thrilled. That's a catch. And so
80% of the women you surveyed is settling?
That's settling because, the question is, what actually makes us happy in long-term romantic love? And, that's the question that I explore in the book. And I'm a journalist, so I went out and I asked neurobiologists about chemistry, and I asked behavioral economists about demographics, and I asked marital researchers and divorce
lawyers. What did they say?
And, the thing is, we're too picky about the things that don't matter at all for long-term romantic happiness, but we're not picky enough about the things that actually do matter.
Because we have so much single motherhood and we don't know what it means or how to actually look for a husband, that we allow materialistic dumb things to stop us from having good relationships and having our children that we may already have, or our future children, from having a stable man. Oh, that guy seems boring. Oh, he's in computer science. He's in tech. Or he talks too proper, or he came from a 2-parent married home, or he just doesn't seem, he has no swag, or we don't talk about anything that great, or he doesn't talk much. It's just how immature. Is that really what you care about? That can change. You're not going to be the same forever. He won't be the same forever. Give a guy a chance. You're attracted to toxic. You're attracted to trauma. You're finding somebody that excites you because you have trauma. You want a trauma bond with somebody who's going to keep it exciting. And your version of exciting is unprotected sex, multiple baby mama drama, and throwing you up against the wall, hitting you. That's what you want. Or not answering your calls and not, police knocking at your door. And it sounds dramatic, but so many Black women have grown up in foolishness like that. And so anything that's stable and a calm and a regular life, no, I don't want that. No, I don't want that, because you're not used to it. You're not used to it. And so what I'm saying is, pop the balloon, and all of these dating shows are showing why there's so much singleness in the Black community, specifically with Black women, because we have weird expectations. We have weird expectation. Hey, that man most likely will not have the same body forever. And you won't either. You'll have children. You'll get bigger. You'll be comfortable. You'll be uncomfortable. You won't have the same body either. Give that man grace. Oh, he doesn't dress well. Okay, help him dress. You're the helpmeet. That's your responsibility. Baby, I think you will look really good in this. How about trying that on? He's going to be like, okay. Most guys are laid back and chill. Make him who you want him to be. I always consider what my husband likes when I get my hair done. Or I always consider what my husband likes when I buy an outfit or whatever. Because I want him to be attracted to me. And I know what he likes certain things. That's fine. And he's going to do the same. Because he cares and he has character. Okay? And so watching these dysfunctional shows and all that stuff just shows you why so many Black women are single, because you're worried about the wrong stuff. His pants don't matter, honey, if he's going to be a good father or not. You're worried about his pants and you're not looking at his character. And yet you get with a man that's so swagged up and has the right clothes, but he's beating you in the face every night. Or he won't answer his phone, or he's breaking up with you and taking you on an emotional chase, stressing you out, you in the hospital. It's toxic and it needs to stop. It's demonic. And if that's the type of man you're into or you've been into, you got to start asking the Lord to help deliver you from that, and ask him to help you be stable so you can attract stability. Because I do believe we do attract what we are. We have to look in the mirror and say, ooh, why am I interested in that? Why is the bad boy so exciting to me? And you don't have to wait till you're 30, 40, 50 to do that. You don't have to wait until you're Sierra to do that. You don't have to wait all that time. You can do it in your 20s and your teens. You can get it together now and ask the Lord to make you over, so you're not in those situations. So character has to be first. And that's how you will find a provider man. And they're all over. They're plumbers. They are in trades. They are electricians. They are Walmart managers. They are truck drivers. They are mail deliverers or carriers. They're everywhere. I just think you're not attracted because you're too busy watching social media, and social media is telling you a man needs to make 6 figures. Social media is telling you a man needs to have this job. I saw one woman who said that she wouldn't date a Walmart manager because she don't want people to look at her negatively. Even though he's a manager of a store, and that's a lot more money than a regular Walmart worker. She's like, I just don't, the name, the title, it bothers her. No, it doesn't matter that he's making good money, but it's just the title bothers her because she can't tell her friends and family or her friends that she's with a Walmart manager. And I'm like, are your friends married? You're so worried about your single friends and what they think about the man that you're with in the title of his job. And yet they most likely are single and you're single. So you're not serious about marriage. You want a picture perfect life. You want status. You're too focused on what people think about you. And when you're too focused on what people think about you, especially certain people that come from a toxic culture of only putting, material things first and not considering character, that's when you're going down a slippery slope. Because those people are going to be baby mamas, most likely. Those people are going to stay unmarried while you are doing the same. I heard someone say that you are like your 5 closest friends. If your 5 closest friends are married, you're most likely going to be married. If your 5 closest friends are single, you most likely may stay single. If your 5 closest friends are broke, you're probably going to stay broke. So another thing you could do, one of the things you can do is get away from those people. Who cares? You really care what Keisha say about your Walmart manager man, or your man who works 2 jobs, or a truck driver, or whatever, and she's on her 5th child with her 6th baby father. Like, why are you trying to impress her? Impress God. So I think that's the issue. Those men you're asking where they are, they're everywhere. Provider men are everywhere. They just may not look like what social media or these dramas or these movies say that they should look like, but you're passing them every day on the street. You're passing them every day when you go to the gym or wherever you go, and they're there. You're just not looking at them because they don't look like what you desire or what you think you desire. But if you allow God to take the wheel and you say, God, listen, I'm tired of trying to do it my way. Point them out to me, God, or help me be visible to the right man. Pay attention to that man. And you probably have already seen him. The man that's always nice to you at work. The man that's always, complimenting you or always trying to do things for you out of his way. And you never asked him to or anything like that. The shy guy, the quiet guy. There's a lot of them around. They just may not be crazy personalities, but they'll give you stability and peace. There was also a video that was going around talking about the difference between Russian men and American men. And basically the video was asking Russian men and American men, would they want to provide 100% for their wives or their families? And a lot of the American men said, no, I want 50-50. And most of the Russian men said yes.
America versus Russia, asking men if they would provide for their woman.
Well, it just depends, Number one, why would I? But what is she doing while I'm working? It's kind of like each relationship now is a 50-50.
То, наверное, да. Потому что все-таки я беру ответственность за человека.
Nah, she has to provide for herself. She's an adult.
Конечно, если жена, это семья, это дети, и, конечно, в идеале, чтобы она уделяла 100% времени воспитанию.
Well, I mean, I would want it to be 50-50. That's the current situation I have. Right?
Если ей не хочется работать, если ей не хочется самореализовываться, ей приятно находиться на моем содержании, почему нет, я могу себе это позволить.
I would. I would probably inspire her to work, just so I can see that there is some motive going in her future.
Жизнь, моя жизненная ситуация устраивает, и я живу с девушкой, я ее содержу.
Она должна другие функции выполнять, а мужчина на своем месте всегда.
And, of course, a lot of women, again, biology works, saying how the American men are not masculine, they're just awful, and the Russian men, they're providers, and those are the men that you should go for. But here's my caveat. If that's the truth for you, if you're saying that the provider man is great, you don't know how that culture is because they're expecting you to be a certain type of woman. See, you can't desire a provider man and you're not a certain type of woman. You want a traditional masculine man, sometimes, most of the time, those men want a traditional woman. And so I think what the problem is that a lot of American women have been so blinded by feminism that tells them that you can have it all. You can have your cake and eat it too. You want to provide a man, but then you still want to go out there and go and do your dreams and have all of this and have all of that. And it doesn't always work that way. You're going to have to make sacrifices. Sometimes you're going to have to put things off in life so you can raise kids and focus on your family. There's so much that you may have to let go for a season. You're going to have to be that man's wife, whatever that entails, whatever that man needs from you. Just like he's willing to provide for you and make sure you're able to do what you need to do as a mom and a wife, you're going to have to do the same. So there's a lot of women like, oh yeah, those Russian men are great. I just don't believe that a majority of women in America, specifically if they don't come from a very religious background or a culture or ethnicity that supports traditional family unions, I don't think they know what it entails to have a man that is 100% a provider or 100% traditional man like that. I don't think they know what it takes to keep that man. I think they can just go and live their life how they want while he's taking care of the bills, and that's just not happening. Because you wouldn't want him to live how he wants. Well, as long as the bills is paid, he can go and do what he wants. No, you wouldn't want that. Because there are restrictions and there's certain things that in order to have a happy union and family life, there's some sacrifices that both of you have to let go of. And so when it comes to the American men too, I also want to give this caveat. Yeah, a lot of American men, that turns off women because again, gender roles work in God. That's how he made them. Biology works. So you're seeing a man that's saying, yeah, 50-50, that turns you off. But I do want to say that a lot of these men today were raised in a single mother culture. I've said it before, because there were all kinds of men in that video. But Black Americans have the worst single mother rates, but in general, 25% of Gen Z is growing up in single mother households, the most in any country around the world. And then also single motherhood has been on the rise since the second wave feminist movement in the 70s. In the 80s, divorce was at an all-time high. So then you had a lot of kids from Gen X and all of those times growing up in broken homes where people were getting divorced. So you have a lot of them that have been raised by single mothers who were influenced by the feminist movement, who was influenced by the I can do whatever I want culture, who were influenced that I don't need a man to take care of me. And yet they grown up to be actual men, and they still have that mindset because they heard their mother and the women around them. And then the women in these songs, I'm an independent woman, Destiny's Child, or all of these songs and all of this stuff that says I don't need a man's help. So I do want to give a slight excuse to some of the American men who feel like they need a woman to go 50-50 with them, because when you grow up in a culture in America that supports all of those feminist mindsets, you're going to think that's what women want. And ultimately, once men find out that actually, no, women want a provider, they will be like that, because biology will win and men want to be with women. They want to create families with women. It's just biology. That's how the human species will go on. They want to create families with women, and eventually they will get in line. They will get in line. Because they want to, just like women will get in line. Once women realize that the men that they desire don't want a woman like them, they'll get in line if they're smart. And sooner than later, when they're past baby making age and all that stuff, because they want to attract stability. And the same thing for men. Men and women, we want to be with each other. So it's biological for us to kind of adapt ourselves to what men want. If a woman who craves and desires love from a man feels like she needs to be promiscuous, or she needs to dress a certain way to get a man's attention, a lot of them do it, then that's what she's going to do. But it's not going to end up well for her. But a woman who realizes, okay, I want stability, I want a 2-parent home, I want a man that's stable, I'm not looking for too much, I just want a stable home, she's going to adapt herself and get herself together so she can attract that type of man. And vice versa. So we do what we have to do to attract the man or the woman that we want. And a lot of men have grown up in single motherhood, all in the whole country, not just the Black community. It's worse in the Black community, but all of the country has had broken families are a big rise. The only community is the Indian American community, which I spoke about before in another video. They are the only ones that have the most stable marriages, and they have the most 2-parent married homes, Indian Americans. That's it. Or the Asian community, specifically Indian Americans. And so I will give a little bit of a benefit of doubt to a lot of men today, because they have grown up in a very feminist Western culture. And some of them are confused by what women want, because they're listening to videos, they're watching the movies, they're watching the shows, they're watching all of that. At one point, the women in their lives are screaming at the TV and like, oh, squealing when they watch a drama and a man is picking her up and carrying her, away from the bad guy and putting himself in harm's way. Or when he's, bringing her flowers or giving her, whatever she desires, providing for her. They grow up seeing their mothers doing all that, squealing at it. But then on the other hand, they're sitting up there talking about the shoes on my feet, I bought it. It's like, okay, a lot of the men like, okay, what do y'all want, right? And a lot of specifically progressive women are dunking or trying to dunk on traditional masculinity and call gender roles toxic and stuff. So I mean, can you really blame a lot of American men that they're like, oh, 50-50, because they think that's what women want? And we have to just say that's not what women want. And I think if enough of us say that and demonstrate that in our lives, a lot of them who are smart and want families will get in line. Just like, women who want families and are smart will get in line as well and be the type of woman that a man that they desire wants. One thing I want to say when it comes to the 50-50 couple situation in this whole trend, in this whole I don't pay the mortgage trend. And my husband and I were talking about this, and he's brought this up before. In our situation, he pays all the bills, but he did, you know, he reads a lot and he's so smart. And one of the things he was saying, like, in this economy and the times that we live, it is kind of important to have a 50-50 thing. And the only way you don't have a 50-50 thing and you want a more traditional life is that you have to live below your means. So it's possible, it's not impossible in today's time and age to have a man providing 100% of the time. However, it can take some time. And also, maybe in the beginning, you both have to work. Or you're just gonna have, if you want it from the beginning, you're gonna have to live below your means. If he's making $30,000 a year or $50,000 a year, you're gonna have to live below your means. And one of the things that I think will help you not compare yourself to whatever is going on or whatever other women is really try to limit social media. I know that's hard, but try to limit those romance movies that you love and those social media stuff, because you will find yourself comparing and wanting to buy things that these, you know, overconsumption. You want what everyone else has or what other women that you follow seem to have. And that's not going to be easy. My husband and I got married in the beginning. We lived in a very small, very, very small house. I was working and I stopped working after I got pregnant with my first child. And I haven't been working since, and that was a long time ago. So even in my situation, we got married at 21. We got married really young. It took a while for us to get to where we are to be able for him to, you know, provide only by himself. And also the job that he's been at, he's been there for a long time. So he's been able to go up in his career and make more money, right? The longer you're there. So I also want to let you know that, because I don't want you to live under this perception that, okay, like once I get married, everything's going to be perfect and the man is going to provide for me, because that's what I want. If that's what you want, that's great. That's what most women desire. However, understand that the reality of the economy, the reality of things today, now God can do anything. I'm just saying that you may have to work in the beginning until you get to a place where you can quit and, you know, take care of your children or stay home. You may have to do something. And another thing those videos aren't showing you, for the men who are paying all of the mortgage 100%, we don't know how long those people have been married. Because a lot of people end up, you know, graduating from college, getting married or whatever. They start working together at one point, and then they can, when they are comfortable, then the wife stops working after a while, maybe once they have children or whatever, but they stop. Right? So also, you don't know how long those couples been together for them to get to the point where the man can 100% provide. So I don't want you also thinking like, okay, I got to find a provider husband, but that means from the very beginning, I'm going to not work. That could happen, but it can only happen if you trust in God, but also live below your means and not compare yourself with everybody on social media. You may not be able to buy the latest trendy outfit. You may have to do secondhand. You may have to shop at a discount store. You may have to get stuff on the clearance rack. You may not be able to buy everything or kitchen utensil or whatever, latte or whatever. Like, you have to make your own coffee at home. Like, you may not be able to do all the things that you see your favorite creators, influencers, and celebrities doing, but you know, you can still live that provider lifestyle in the start if you both agree to, okay, we're just going to live below our means for right now, right? Maybe you'll have to work for a year or two or a few years and then come home, right? Because it is hard. The economy is hard. People are struggling. So I did want to say that, because I don't want people to look at those couples and be like, oh, I wish that were me, or, oh, that's so great. But you don't know how long those couples have been together. Some of those couples may be married 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. You can probably see from the age of that couple and that type of house they're living in. Most couples don't just immediately start living in a big house. Most couples don't immediately just start, you know, start off well financially. It takes time, and sometimes the wife will have to work for a few years until they're stable enough to be able to take care of, for the husband to do 100% of the providing, or until they have a child and the wife is like, I really want to stay home, and the husband's like, okay, you can stay home, but we can't have a Netflix subscription, or we have to make some sacrifices. And so if you're not the type to want to make sacrifices, then don't even be looking for a provider husband, because you're going to have to make sacrifices. Okay, you just are. So I just want to put that out there too. I don't want anybody to feel bad if they have a 50-50 relationship. I don't want people to, if they get into a 50-50 relationship, as long as that man's character is right and he knows, hey, you want to stay home and you've expressed that to him, I'm pretty sure he's going to be working hard to make sure that he accomplishes that for you. But it may be, depending on your situation, where you have to live below your means for a while, or you're just going to have to work for a little bit until you're financially able to do that. And so I want to let you know that. But the whole overall concept is, don't let feminism fool you. Don't let these boss chicks on TikTok or all these people make you believe that women's rights and all this stuff. But when it comes to relationships, they don't want none of that. They are praising these men who are providing 100%. They are shaming women who are with husbands who don't provide 100%. It's really toxic and just it's hypocritical. And that's why the feminist movement in the recent years have fallen on its behind, and they're moving on to other movements that have nothing to do with feminism, but other equality movements, right? And some of them are even advocated for biological men in biological women's spaces. It's because their movement is really dying. You know, women in the West have gotten all the equality that they ever will need. And so what happens when a movement starts to die out and accomplish what it wanted to accomplish, then they have to look for other victims or other movements to attach themselves to so that they can keep going on throughout the generations. Because if we were honest, feminism would have died in the 80s. It would have. Women were working, women were divorcing their husbands, you had no fault divorce. All of the stuff that they wanted to accomplish, really, it's already in the West, it's done. Like, if feminism was really about helping women, they would focus on the Middle East. They would focus on places in the East that really need feminism. But the Western woman doesn't need feminism. She needs God. And she needs a husband. That's what I say. Anyways, guys, God bless you. I hope you're doing well. Share this video and have a blessed day.